Early life of Chris Bumstead. Chris Bumstead was born on February 2, 1995 in Ottawa, Canada, and grew up in a supportive middle-class family. From a young age, he was naturally athletic, but not overly dominant in any single sport. Like many teenagers, he explored different physical activities, including football, baseball, and general fitness. However, nothing initially hinted that he would become one of the most iconic physiques in bodybuilding history. Growing up, Chris was relatively tall and lean, which later became one of his greatest advantages in the classic physique division. His structure, broad shoulders, narrow waist, and long limbs gave him the potential to build a visually aesthetic body rather than just a massive one. But in his early years, this potential was not yet realized. He was simply an active kid who enjoyed being physically engaged. His family environment played a major role in shaping his discipline. Chris was raised with strong values of consistency, respect, and hard work. These values later translated directly into his training philosophy. While he didn't grow up in a hardcore fitness household, he had enough support to pursue his interests once he discovered bodybuilding. Introduction to the gym. Chris's real introduction to the gym came during his late teenage years. Like many young men, he initially started lifting weights to improve his appearance. He wasn't chasing titles or fame, he simply wanted to look better and feel stronger. At around 14 to 15 years old, he began experimenting with basic weight training. At this stage, his workouts were unstructured and based mostly on what he saw others doing. He didn't follow a strict program or diet. Instead, he relied on trial and error, learning through experience rather than formal guidance. His early gym sessions were simple, basic compound movements like bench press, squats, and curls. High repetition sets without much understanding of hypertrophy, minimal attention to nutrition, inconsistent training schedules. Despite this lack of structure, Chris quickly fell in love with the process. The gym became more than just a place to exercise, it became a space where he could challenge himself, relieve stress, and build confidence. Influence of family and mentor. One of the most important turning points in Chris's early gym life was the influence of his sister's boyfriend at the time, Yoan Valliere, who later became a professional bodybuilder himself. Yoan played a crucial role in introducing Chris to the deeper aspects of bodybuilding. He taught him proper lifting techniques, the importance of structured training, nutrition fundamentals, the discipline required to succeed. This mentorship transformed Chris's approach to fitness. What started as casual gym sessions evolved into a serious pursuit. Under Yoan's guidance, Chris began to understand that bodybuilding was not just about lifting weights, it was a science and an art combined. Early training philosophy. During his early stages in the gym, Chris developed a training philosophy centered around consistency and gradual improvement. He wasn't trying to lift the heaviest weights immediately. Instead, he focused on mastering form and building a strong foundation. Some key elements of his early training included progressive overload, gradually increasing weights over time; mind-muscle connection, focusing on feeling the muscle work; balanced physique development, not neglecting any body part; patience, understanding that results take time. Chris's tall frame made certain exercises more challenging, especially movements like squats and bench press. However, instead of getting discouraged, he used this as motivation to improve his technique. Early diet and nutrition. In the beginning, Chris had very limited knowledge about nutrition. Like many beginners, he believed that simply eating more food would lead to muscle growth. His early diet was not optimized and often included high-calorie foods without proper macronutrient balance, inconsistent meal timing, lack of understanding of protein requirements. As he learned more, he began to refine his diet. He started focusing on high protein intake for muscle repair, balanced carbohydrates for energy, healthy fats for overall health. This shift in nutrition played a significant role in his early progress. He began to see noticeable improvements in both muscle size and recovery. First signs of potential. As Chris continued training, his physique began to change rapidly. His natural genetics, combined with consistent effort, allowed him to build muscle at an impressive rate. People around him started noticing his broad shoulders and narrow waist, his symmetrical muscle development, his aesthetic proportions. These features are now hallmarks of his classic physique dominance, but they were already evident in his early gym days. Encouraged by these results, Chris became more serious about bodybuilding. He started researching training techniques, watching professional bodybuilders, and learning about competition standards, transition from hobby to passion. What began as a casual interest soon became a full-fledged passion. Chris started organizing his life around the gym. His daily routine revolved around training sessions, meal preparation, rest and recovery. He developed a disciplined lifestyle that set him apart from his peers. While others treated the gym as an occasional activity, Chris treated it as a commitment. This mindset shift was crucial. It marked the moment when he stopped being just a gym goer and started becoming a bodybuilder. Early challenges and struggles. Chris' early gym journey was not without challenges. Like any beginner, he faced obstacles that tested his determination. Some of these challenges included plateaus in muscle growth, injuries from improper form, balancing school and training, self-doubt, and comparison with others. However, these struggles played an important role in shaping his character. Instead of giving up, Chris used them as learning experiences. He adjusted his training, improved his technique, and stayed consistent, developing the classic physique look. Even in his early stages, Chris was not focused solely on size. He was drawn to the aesthetics of bodybuilding, the balance, symmetry, and proportions that define the classic physique division. He admired physiques from the golden era of bodybuilding, which emphasized small waistlines, wide shoulders, balanced muscle development. This influence guided his training decisions. He avoided overdeveloping certain muscle groups at the expense of others, ensuring a harmonious physique. First steps toward competition. As Chris's physique improved, the idea of competing began to take shape. Encouraged by mentors and friends, he started preparing for his first bodybuilding competition. This preparation involved structured training programs, strict dieting, learning posing techniques, understanding stage presensithies. Early preparations were intense and required a level of discipline he had never experienced before, but they also solidified his commitment to bodybuilding. Early gym environment and culture. Gym environment played a significant role in Chris's development. Being surrounded by like-minded individuals motivated him to push harder. He learned valuable lessons from observing experienced lifters, asking questions and seeking advice, competing with himself and others. Gym became his second home, a place where he could grow physically and mentally. Mental growth and discipline. Perhaps the most important aspect of Chris's early gym life was the mental transformation. Bodybuilding taught him discipline and consistency, patience and long-term thinking, confidence and self-beliefs. Qualities extended beyond the gym and influenced other areas of his life. Foundation for future success. By the time Chris transitioned into competitive bodybuilding, he had already built a strong foundation, solid training knowledge, consistent habits, a clear vision of his goals. This foundation allowed him to progress rapidly once he entered the professional stage. Rise to victory, the making of a champion. Chris Bumstead's competitive journey began in his late teens when he transitioned from a passionate gym goer into a serious bodybuilding competitor. His early shows were not about fame, they were about testing his potential. From the start, his physique stood out. Unlike many competitors chasing sheer mass, Chris embodied aesthetics, a small waist, wide shoulders, and balanced muscle development. This made him a perfect fit for the classic physique division, which emphasizes symmetry and proportion over extreme size. His first major breakthrough came when he entered international competitions and quickly rose through the ranks. Judges and fans noticed his clean lines and stage presence. It wasn't long before he earned his IFBB Pro card, marking the beginning of his professional career. Olympia dominance. The biggest stage in bodybuilding is the Mr. Olympia, and this is where Chris Bumstead cemented his legacy. Early Olympia appearances 2017-2018. Chris made his Olympia debut in 2017 and finished as runner-up, a remarkable achievement for a newcomer. However, finishing second also introduced him to the harsh reality of elite competition. Being close to greatness is not the same as achieving it. In 2018, he again placed second. While impressive, this repeated result created pressure. Many began to question whether he could ever win the title. These early losses became some of the most important moments of his career, fueling his determination. First Olympia victory 2019 in 2019. Chris finally broke through and won his first Mr. Olympia Classic Physique title. This victory was more than just a trophy, it was redemption. He improved every aspect of his physique. Better conditioning, sharper definition, improved posing. This win marked the beginning of his dominance and silenced doubts about his ability to reach the top. continued reign 2020-2023 and beyond. After his first win, Chris didn't slow down. Instead, he elevated his performance each year. Defending his title multiple times, his victories were defined by consistency in conditioning, mastery of posing, continuous improvements without losing aesthetics, and like many champions who fade after one win, Chris became the face of the Classic Physique division. Each year, he returned stronger, more refined, and more confident. Key rivalry: no great champion rises without competition. Chris Bumstead's career has been shaped by intense rivalries that pushed him to improve. Brian Ansley was one of Chris's earliest and most significant rivals. As a two-time Olympia champion before Chris's reign, Brian set the standard for classic physique. Their rivalry defined the 2017 and 2018 Olympias. Brian's dense muscle and experience vs. Chris's aesthetics, close judging decisions, debates among fans about who deserved the win. Although Chris lost to Brian twice, these defeats were crucial. They forced him to refine his conditioning and presentation, ultimately leading to his victory in 2019. Raymond Normandino emerged as one of Chris's toughest challengers during his reign. Known for his impressive size and shape, Raymond brought a new level of competition to the division. This rivalry added excitement to the sport. Raymond's rising popularity vs. Chris's established dominance, close comparisons on stage, increasing pressure on Chris to maintain perfection despoty. The challenge: Chris consistently defended his title, proving his ability to adapt and stay ahead. Yours Kalasinski, another notable rival, Yours Kalasinski, brought a youthful and aesthetic physique that appealed to modern fans, while not always the closest competitor in terms of placement. Yours represented the next generation of classic physique athletes. His presence ensured that Chris could never become complacent. Losses and setbacks: while Chris Bumstead is known for his victories, his losses played an equally important role in shaping his career. Early competitive losses: becoming a champion, Chris faced several defeats in amateur competitions. These losses were part of his learning process. They taught him the importance of conditioning, how to present his physique, the mental toughness required to compete. Olympia runner-up finishes 2017-2018. These were perhaps the most defining losses of his career. Finishing second twice on the biggest stage was both motivating and frustrating. Instead of giving up, Chris used these setbacks as fuel. He improved his weak points, refined his posing, focused on bringing a complete package. These losses directly led to his first Olympia victory. Health struggle: Chris has also faced health challenges, including autoimmune issues that affected his conditioning and energy levels. At times, these struggles impacted his preparation, difficulty maintaining peak condition, increased stress during prep, physical and mental fatigue. However, his ability to overcome these challenges added to his legacy. Winning despite adversity made his victories even more meaningful. Evolution through adversity: of the most remarkable aspects of Chris Bumstead's career is his ability to evolve. Every loss, rivalry, and challenge contributed to his growth. He didn't rely solely on talent. Instead, he analyzed his weaknesses, adapted his training and diet, stayed disciplined under pressure. This mindset separated him from many competitors. Impact on bodybuilding: Chris' victories have had a lasting impact on the sport. He popularized the classic physique division, inspired a new generation of athletes, brought mainstream attention to bodybuilding. His rivalries made competitions more exciting, while his consistency set a new standard for excellence. Legacy of a champion: Toddy. Chris Bumstead is considered one of the greatest classic physique competitors of all time. His career is a perfect balance of dominant victories, meaningful rivalries, valuable lessons from loss or other. Then being defined by setbacks, he used them as stepping stones to greatness. Who motivated Chris Bumstead to join the gym? Chris Bumstead did not start his fitness journey with the intention of becoming a world champion. Like many teenagers, his initial motivation was simple. He wanted to improve his appearance and gain confidence. However, a major turning point came through the influence of Yain Valier. Yain, who later became a professional bodybuilder, played a crucial role in shaping Chris's early mindset. He introduced Chris to structured training, proper lifting techniques, and the discipline required to build a physique. At first, Chris was just experimenting in the gym, lifting weights without a clear plan. But Yain's mentorship transformed his approach. Instead of random workouts, Chris began to understand the importance of progressive overload, nutrition, consistency. Rith's mentorship was not just technical, it was motivational. Seeing someone close to him take bodybuilding seriously made Chris believe that he could also achieve something great. Early gym motivation, from casual training to passion. Chris' early gym life was driven by curiosity and gradual improvement. Unlike many people who quit after a few months, he became deeply invested in the process. His motivation came from small wins, lifting slightly heavier weights, seeing visible muscle growth, receiving compliments from others, feeling stronger and more confident. The small achievements built momentum. Over time, the gym became more than just a place to exercise, it became part of his identity. Chris also found motivation in classic bodybuilding physiques. He admired athletes who emphasized aesthetics, symmetry, and proportion rather than just size. This admiration shaped his long-term vision and gave him a clear goal to build a timeless physique. Detailed breakdown of Chris Bumstead's wins. Bumstead's victories are not just numbers, they represent years of refinement, learning, and overcoming challenges. 2019 first Mr. Olympia victory, breakthrough moment after finishing second in 2017 and 2018. Chris entered the 2019 Olympia with something to prove. This was his breakthrough year. What made this win special? Improved conditioning compared to previous years, sharper muscle definition, better stage presence and posing. This victory was a turning point. It showed that persistence pays off and that setbacks can lead to success. 2020 proving it was not luck. Winning once can be seen as a breakthrough, but defending a title proves true greatness. In 2020, Chris returned even better, more muscle maturity, enhanced symmetry, greater confidence on Stagathis. Win established him as the dominant force in classic physique. 2021 peak conditioning and confidence. 2021, Chris had fully mastered his physique. Many fans consider this one of his best versions. Key highlights: exceptional conditioning, perfect balance between size and aesthetics, flawless posing routine. At this point, he was not just winning, he was setting the standard for the division. 2022 overcoming strong competition. The competition level increased significantly, with athletes like Raymond Dino pushing the limits. Despite the challenge, Chris maintained his dominance, continued refinement of weak points, maintaining a small waist while adding muscle, staying consistent under pressure. Win demonstrated his ability to adapt and stay ahead of rising competitors. 2023 legacy building. 2023. Chris Bumstead was no longer just a champion, he was a legend. His victory this year represented longevity in a highly competitive sport, consistency at the highest level, mastery of both physique and presentation. Win added another layer to his legacy, solidifying him as one of the greatest classic physique athletes of all time. What made his wins unique? Chris Bumstead's victory stand out because of his approach to bodybuilding. Unlike many competitors, he focused on aesthetic balance rather than extreme size, classic posing styles, maintaining a small waist. This approach aligned perfectly with the philosophy of classic physique, making him a fan favorite and a judge's ideal competitor. Gym motivation using Chris Bumstead as an example. Chris' journey provides powerful lessons for anyone starting their fitness journey. 1. Start small but stay consistent. Chris didn't begin as a champion. He started as a beginner with limited knowledge. What set him apart was consistency. Lesson: you don't need perfect knowledge to start, you need commitment. 2. Find the right mentor. Guidance of Yann Valliere played a crucial role in Chris's development. Lesson: learning from someone experienced can accelerate your progress and prevent mistakes. 3. Use losses as motivation. Chris' early losses, especially his runner-up finishes at the Mr. Olympia, could have discouraged him. Instead, they pushed him to improve. Lesson: failure is not the end, it is feedback. 4. Focus on long-term goals. Chris didn't chase quick results. He focused on building a physique over years. Lesson: real transformation takes time, stay patient. 5. Discipline over motivation. Motivation can fade, but discipline keeps you going. Chris followed strict routines even when he didn't feel like it. Lesson: build habits, not just motivation. 6. Believe in yourself. Many doubted whether Chris could win after finishing second twice. He believed in himself and proved them wrong. Lesson: confidence is key to success. Mental strength behind his success. And of the most important aspects of Chris Bumstead's journey is his mental strength. He faced Intense competition, public expectations, health challenges. Despite these obstacles, he remained focused. His ability to stay calm under pressure and trust the process played a major role in his success. How his story inspires beginners. Bumstead's journey is relatable because he started like everyone else. No perfect plan, limited knowledge, simple goals, but through consistency, learning, and discipline, he transformed himself into a world champion. For beginners, his story shows that anyone can start. Progress comes with effort. Success is built over time.